sex, and relationships. They call me Uncle WHYTE, and I welcome you to this episode of ENCORE. We do this every Friday between 12:30 GMT and 13:30 GMT. Once again, thank you very much. To the members of the community, those who are always here with us, I appreciate the investment you are making with time and data. And I appreciate the fact that you've been very supportive, and especially for your comments and the way you're keeping the community going. I am very honored by that. Now, 2 weeks ago, we began a series we call Challenges in Relationships. And this is the third installment, Challenges in Relationships. And today, we are looking at this challenge, when love dies in a relationship. When love dies in a relationship. Every love relationship begins on the basis of love. And yet, there are cases where after a number of years, sometimes even after the relationship has gone beyond from courtship into marriage, you'll find that the love, the thing that brought you together, is gone. It's one of the most difficult things to deal with in a relationship, and that's why we are talking about it, because it is precisely that difficult. So let's get into it straight away. Before I do that, let me say that the title of my next play is The Woman in the Bathroom. The Woman in the Bathroom. And that will be showing at the National Theatre on the 1st and 2nd of July. And then we'll repeat on the 7th and 8th of July. If you happen to be in Accra, or you could come into Accra around that time, we'll be more than happy to see you at the National Theatre. The Woman in the Bathroom. Now, when love dies in a relationship, let's look at 25 reasons why this happens. We're going to look at 25 instances or reasons that give rise to this. So, shall we start? 1, a misunderstanding of love. Quite often, we go into relationships on the basis of love, but we have no understanding of what love is. We think love has to do with the feeling, with the butterfly feelings we get, with those, the heartbeat and things like that. No, that is not love at all. And sometimes when we mistake the feelings for love, then when those feelings are gone, and they would go because they don't stay forever, then we think that our love is gone. 2, waking up to the realization that the choice you made was wrong, was a mistake. In a perfect world, we would all fall in love and relate to people who are the right choice for us. But in reality, that's not what happens. Half the time, people are falling in love or think they're falling in love with people they have no business falling in love with. And then it leads to all kinds of complications, all kinds of difficulties. And then the relationship struggles on till finally it cannot go on anymore. 3, discovering that the person in your life is not what you thought he or she was. You know, when you meet somebody initially, you put on that person every good feeling you have. And sometimes you think of that person much better than the reality is. So you fall in love with your version of the person. And then when you discover the true person, it becomes difficult. I know some of my friends who are very, very short-tempered, and the girls they fell in love with, when I asked them, what do you like about my friend? Oh, he's very patient. Very patient. And whenever that came, I hold my head and say, "Radhi, we are in trouble," because the person has fallen in love with a phantom. 4, meeting another person who takes your fancy more. There was a program on BBC in the 70s, and one statement stuck with me. He said, "Some people fall in love with the people some people meet the people they love only after they've gotten married." So sometimes it is possible that you are in a relationship, you're making it work, then one day you meet somebody and you realize, oh my goodness, where have you been all my life? 5, failure to handle the normal relationship issues well. Every relationship has issues. I've said on this platform before that good relationships and bad relationships have the same problems. The difference is in how the problems are resolved, are dealt with. And so sometimes people run into problems in their relationship and they think that that is evidence that love is gone. No. It is evidence that this is a relationship that is still developing and growing. 6, when the pain in the relationship becomes too much. Sometimes there are relationships in which there's too much struggle, too much stress, conflict, fighting, abuse, and all kinds, neglect. The person copes with it. One party copes with the pain for a while. But there comes a time when he realizes, I can't take more. I can't take any more. 7, when the two of you grow apart. When the two of you grow apart, and that is very easy to happen. You meet, one of you begins to get himself involved deeper in his career, opportunities are coming. The other one is also evolving and rising in his own career, and before you realize, your home becomes a transit quarters. He goes, you go. You meet only to sleep and change dresses and go back again. You grow apart that way. 8, betrayal and lack of trust. When betrayal comes and when you betray the trust of your partner. You betray the expectations of your partner. You betray the confidences of your partner. You are killing love relationship. I read something, it said, love never dies a natural death. It is always murdered. And this is one of the ways in which it is murdered. 9, the interference of third parties. Third parties, and it could be anything. It could be parents, or it could be somebody. It could be an ex who resurrects from the dead and comes and begins to haunt the relationship. 10, it is part of a normal relationship in its evolution and development, passes through certain phases. And sometimes when you don't understand the phases, when you hit it, you will think that you don't have a very good relationship and walk away. 11, immaturity. When children fall in love, it is a disaster for themselves and for everybody because of immaturity. They make an issue of everything. They make a federal case of everything because of immaturity. And that kills love. 12, unrealistic expectations. Unrealistic expectations. I will never forget my dismay the day I met a young lady whose highest ambition, whose deepest yearning was to marry a medical doctor. And then she also told me that in her home, she wants a home where she will eat breakfast, lunch, and supper with her husband. And I said, and you want to marry a doctor, a medical doctor, who can be on duty for 24 hours? Now, some doctors in Ghana are even doing a 36-hour straight duty. How is that going to happen? So, unrealistic expectations has been the cause of death of love in many cases. 13, it wasn't love at all. It wasn't love. It was the best option available. What do I mean by the best option available? The lady feels that time is passing by. She's getting on in age. She thinks that my biological clock is beginning to get into overtime and things like that. So she hasn't found anybody she really, really would have liked to marry if all things were equal. So she looks at the men around her, and of the people who are still showing interest in her, the best option, that is the one who is best behaved, the one with the best career prospects, is the one she chooses. The same thing can happen with men in another way. So quite often people make a decision to marry based on, they just look at the prospects and they take a very cold, calculated decision and marry. Now, when that happens, love was not in the equation at all, and sometimes it's difficult to let that one happen. 14, people change. People change. The humble person in school, when he becomes bank manager, becomes a very different person. The very godly boy who was prayer secretary now begins to drive the latest Mercedes-Benz and discovers that there are creatures called ladies. And then he becomes a very different person. The girl you brought from the village suddenly comes and finds a way around and realizes, hey, you are not my class. People change. 15, making the relationship an end in itself. There are people who just want to be in a relationship, and that is the goal. They don't care who they have the relationship with, just being in a relationship, and so they can say, me too, I have a girlfriend, me too, I have a boyfriend, is their goal. And they struggle with love. 16, boredom. When the relationship becomes boring, eventually one of you would go, because boring sometimes is painful. And when everything becomes predictable, everything becomes routine, you'll kill love. 17, fear and insecurity. Fear and insecurity. See, fear makes us hold too tightly to things. And in doing that, we stifle it and suffocate it. Insecurity makes you fight battles that you should have no business fighting. 18, the love was built on the wrong or unsound foundation. Listen, when your love relationship was built on the beautiful legs of the girl, that is not a very good foundation. If your love relationship is built on Carneson's latest Benz, that is not a good foundation. Carneson, that's a prophecy. You should receive it. 19. It wasn't love to begin with. It wasn't love at all. 20. Lack of growth. You get into a relationship with somebody. Maybe both of you have just come out of the university. Then one party begins to go on to do a master's, go on to do a PhD, goes on to do professional courses. With that comes more opportunities to travel and things like that, meet new people. You are still where you are with your gentleman pass at the first graduate level. You are not growing. You are not growing. And soon, that lack of growth would become cracks in your relationship. 21, which is common, a lot of people use that one as an excuse, that we are not compatible. So incompatibility. 22, lack of personal space. Human beings need their space. And when you create a relationship in which the other party doesn't feel I have a space, my space is respected, what will happen is that the person will walk. 23, lack of communication. You don't know how to address issues. You don't know how to sit down and talk about issues. Every time you want to address issues, it becomes a big fight and a quarrel. Lack of communication. It will kill love. 24, misplaced priorities. When your priorities are wrong or when there's a lack of balance in your life. There are people, and I think men are very guilty of this, who get into a relationship and still make their careers their first wives. You know, you have misplaced your priority. There will be trouble in this relationship. And finally, 12, distance. Distance kills relationships because it's so stressful when you have to deal with distance that even in the best of times, it becomes very difficult. Now, I like to deal with 5 myths. You know, there are times when people say, oh, our love is dead, but it is not dead. It's like human beings who are sent into the mortuary prematurely. They are not there, but they are in the mortuary. I don't know if you guys saw, there's something on a clip on YouTube. A guy who woke up in the mortuary and then came face to face with the mortuary man. And the mortuary man said, you are dead, you will die. And the guy said, I'm not dead. And it became a struggle in the mortuary. So there are cases where love is not dead, but the couple or one of them becomes the mortuary man and says, you are dead, I'll bury you by force. So we're going to look at 5 instances. 1, cheating. Cheating is not a sign that love is dead. There are people who cheat or are caught in a cheating situation when they still love their partners deeply. 2, conflicts or fights. The mere fact that you fight or you have disagreements is no indication that love is dead. Sometimes it is precisely because there's love that you care and fight so much. Sometimes that is what it is. Myth number 3, anger. The mere fact that the person lost his temper and said some stupid things doesn't mean that love is dead. That's somebody struggling with his emotional immaturity. 4, not finding your partner attractive to you anymore. It's not an indication that love is dead. The mere fact that your partner is not attractive to you anymore doesn't mean you don't love the person or the love is gone. So don't run away. Help the person to groom herself or himself and become even more attractive than you met him or her. And finally, 5, the 5th myth, forgetting your birthday or the wedding anniversary. That is no indication that there's no love. Amen. The person may love you, especially if he's a boy, take it for granted that he will forget. Find a way of reminding him. Find a subtle way. If you like 2 months at a time, a month at a time. In my home, they understand that if you want your day to be celebrated, remind me at least a month in advance. Otherwise, if I forget, I've forgotten. Now, I'd like to look at signs that love is dead. We're going to look at some signs. We've looked at why love dies. Now I'm going to give you the signs. We've also looked at 5 myths. Let's look at signs. Sign number 1, indifference. The opposite of love is not hatred. If you hate your partner, you still love the person. That's why you hate the person. Love is dead when no matter what that person does, it doesn't matter to you. He comes late. He doesn't even come to sleep in the house. He spends all night chatting with people on his phone. None of your business. At that point, you know love is dead. 2, being resentful and critical of your partner or your partner being critical of you all the time. That is indication. Because you see, when you love somebody, you don't have the time to be critical. 3, when one of you cannot bother to hide his cheating or her cheating. So you are cheating. No, sometimes people who are caught in cheating, when they still love their partners, they would go to great extent to hide it. But there are those who get to the point where they don't care anymore, so they leave evidence. Because they really want you to go. They want you to be the one to walk away. And so they create the evidence for you to see, and then you act on it and say, no. You walk away. The day you walk away, he goes to church and gives a thanksgiving offering. 4, when you can't bother to hide your feelings for another person in the presence of your partner, then love is dead. 5, when you can't make time for your partner. You and your partner can't sit down. You never make provision for time to be with your partner. Love is dead. 6, when you don't bother to honor and fulfill your promises, then it's a sign love is dead. 7, when you don't make any effort to please your partner at all. 8, when you become shabby in appearance, in the way you treat your partner, and in the way you speak to your partner, love is dead. 9, when you can't be bothered to care. Your partner goes to the hospital and comes, there is a plaster half of the face, but you can't be bothered to ask what happened to you. You just don't care. You just don't care. 10, when you ignore your partner's concerns, or you treat the concerns with contempt. So your partner says, we need to talk. I am not happy about this. And you say, oh, so what? Then check the health of love. Love is in trouble. 11, when you disgrace your partner to others, love, you're killing love. 12, when you revive your relationship with your ex, you are killing love. 13, when you invest time and attention on a third party and deprive and neglect your partner. And then finally, 14, when, and this is purely for the married couple, this is for the lives of Kabute and Ronnie and who else? Okay, the list is finished. Oh, and Kwesi, when you are not interested in having sex, then question love, you know. All right. Now, how do you rekindle love? How do you rekindle and restore love? And I'm going to run through 10 points. After this, I am going to show you that sometimes love needs to die, and I'll tell you why. And Kwesi would roll a video clip for us that would help us make the point. So, how to restore and rekindle love. 1, get your understanding of love straight. Get to know that love is not a feeling, it's not the emotions, it's a decision. It's a commitment you make. 2, be open to discuss frankly the issues and the problems in the relationship. Be open about it. Be transparent with each other. Talk about the issues. Don't just say, I'm fine, I'm fine. No. Talk about the issues. 3, beware of the myth of greener pastures. You know, this is what happens. You are in your relationship, and you think we have issues. Then you see Kaute and his wife, and you think that, you know, Kaute is a fortunate man. Oh, look at the wife he has married. You don't know what issues are in there. So you think that relationship has it so well. Everything is working well. And because of that, you become dissatisfied with your own relationship. Beware of it. It can make you so dissatisfied and discontent with your relationship and critical of your partner. It will kill the good thing you have. Sometimes the people you envy for their relationship, you have a better relationship than them, except that you don't know. Because there are couples who should be in my drama group. They are fantastic performers. You know, I wonder why they don't come to audition to be in my group. Because they act well and convincingly. 4, you don't take time to resolve issues. You have no time to resolve issues at all. So issues come and it powers up, and you have no time. 5, learn to negotiate compromises. So 4 is make time to resolve the issues. 5, negotiate compromises. In a relationship, there will have to be compromises. So you don't like me watching football. All right, can we compromise? That anytime, okay, I'll stop watching football except it is a final match. And the final match, as soon as we finish the final match, you and I, we are going out to eat out at a hotel, at a restaurant of your choice. That's a compromise. You negotiate these things. 6, make time for each other. There is nothing that spells love more than time. You and your partner sitting down, no third parties, talking. Or even if you are not talking, just enjoying each other's company, just being present. 7, again, we are looking at the 10 points in how to restore love. Apologize for your part in the pain in the relationship. Apologize for your part. Because, listen, I said that love never dies a natural death. Love is always murdered. It's always killed. So your part in the murder of love, you apologize. And in doing that, you realize that you are giving love another chance. 8, focus on little actions that show that you care. that you are thoughtful, that you are sensitive, that there is love. Little actions. Men struggle with this because men, we want a big action. I want to buy you a car. And as long as I haven't bought you the car, you wait. When I get the money, I'll buy you the car so you know I love you. No. What about chocolate? What about a flower? What about even ironing my her things for her just before, or running a bath for her? Little things. How about joining her in the kitchen as she cooks and steal some meat? It's all part of it. It's fun. 9, treat each other with respect. Remember, we're talking about how to rekindle love. Treat each other with respect. No matter what is going on in the relationship, make a commitment. I will never speak rudely. I will never act rudely with my partner. And you'll be amazed what that will do. And 10, when all the 9 fail, seek counsel. When all of it fail, seek counsel. Now, Chrissy, if you are ready, I'd like you to watch this little clip. It's about two minutes or so. Chrissy, can you roll it out now?
So, guys, 1. You need to
So what you're seeing is a lift of the spacecraft. Now what you see where the fire is the boosters. They provide the thrust. They enable the spacecraft to overcome gravity and to go into space. Now you realize that it had just discarded the boosters that got it into space. That's one again. It had played this role. Its role was to lift it, let it beat gravity and get it into space. Once in space, it is not needed. And so it is discarded because without it, the spacecraft can still continue with the rest of its journey. Kwesi, thank you very much. And the lesson there is that love got us attracted to each other. Love got us talking. Love got us pursuing a future together. But what will make us build a future is not love. It's not love. And I'm going to give you 20 things that are more important than love in a relationship. Love is important because you need that to even ask the number. You need that to even start talking. But don't make the mistake after you have built this relationship to think that without it you are in trouble. No. Sometimes it pays to let it go, and then focus on the things that will take you all the way to wherever you are, to your destination, be it Mars or the moon or wherever. So, these are what you should be building. Focus on building your love relationship on. I'm giving you 20. 1, respect. 2, thoughtfulness. 3, integrity. Don't tell me you are in a board meeting when you are lying on a board with somebody lying on you. Understand? 4, humor. Humor. So those of you who always live your life as if you have some toothache, permanent toothache, or you are constipated, I mean, that's not how to live. Then don't get into a love relationship. One of the magic potions for a love relationship is humor. 5, support. Emotional support, financial support, spiritual support. 6, quality time with and for each other. 7, appreciation. Saying thank you. Appreciation. Praising the efforts of your partner to somebody else, especially somebody who will go back and tell your partner. 8, commitment. Commitment. Don't tell me you love me when you are not committed to the relationship. 9, sacrifice. A relationship succeeds with people being ready to sacrifice. 10, generosity. Generosity. You love the person, then please open your palm. Don't clench your face and cover everything. Love is sharing. Do you understand? And that's why generosity plays a great role. But it's not generosity only with your substance. Generosity with your words. With your words. With your actions. Generosity. 11, communication. 12, humility. Listen, a love relationship is no place for the arrogant. Humility. You've got to learn to be humble. Otherwise, why are you in a relationship? So if you say, me, no man writes upon me, hey, then please, marry a woman, okay? 13, because you said no man will write on you. So you marry a woman so that the woman can write you, and then you'll still be right. And the same thing goes. The man who says, I won't allow any woman to ride over me. You too, same thing. No, you marry your pet. 13, forgiveness. A great relationship is a relationship between two great forgivers. You've got to major in forgiving one another. 14, acceptance. You know, you are not perfect. Your partner is coping with a lot about you. You too learn to cope with a lot about your partner. You know, accepting people for who they are, what they are, helps. 15, emotional maturity. Emotional maturity teaches you to know when to hold your anger in, when to bite your tongue, and not let it out. Emotional maturity makes you choose your battles well and decide, this one I'll let it go. This one I won't accept. Emotional maturity. It helps you even resolve issues with calmness, without insulting and even creating more offense. There are people in a relationship who something happens and they are in the right, but the way they would handle the issue, everybody who sits on the case will tell you, you have to apologize, you didn't do well. 16, learning to please each other. Focusing on every day, if your focus will be, what can I do to please my wife? What can I do to please my husband? What can I do to please my girlfriend? What can I do to please my boyfriend? That would be a fantastic relationship. 17, vision and mission. You've got to have a vision for this relationship. Where are we going? What do we want to achieve? What kind of home? What kind of children? What is this going to represent? You've got to think about that. 18, accountability. You've got to hold yourself accountable to your partner. So that if your partner asks you, who were you talking to on the phone? Don't ask your partner, why is the phone for you? Answer the question. You know, answer the question. You are driving with your wife and you wave and say, who did you wave at? Don't say you don't know the person. He didn't ask you, do I know the person? He said, who? You mention a name. If he doesn't know the person, she will keep quiet. But people struggle to hold themselves accountable to their partners. And if you have that issue, please don't bring someone into your life and stress the person out. 19, wisdom. Seek wisdom. However you find wisdom, find wisdom. It will make all the difference in your relationship. And 20, self-control. Self-control. Learn to control yourself. So you want action tonight. Your partner says, not tonight. Control yourself. Don't throw tantrums. And don't ask. So if you're not going to do it with me, then where do I go? Where do I go? You'll be fine. It won't kill you. Sleep. Sleep. If you can't sleep, get up and pray. And and if you can't pray, go to the gym. If you don't have gym, go and eat. It will be fine. Well, that has been the presentation on when love dies in a relationship. Like I said, it is always a difficult thing to deal with. It's a painful thing when it happens. I pray that it doesn't happen to you, but if it happens to you, now you know what to do. You know how to deal with it, and I hope that you'll become powerful in resurrecting love all the time. Listen, we showed you a spacecraft. Listen to this. When a spacecraft is on its mission, it is estimated that over 60% of the time it is off course. It manages to get to its destination only because they correct the course from time to time. In the same way, your love relationship may struggle and take blows and take hits every now and then. That is not the issue. Find a way of getting back to course every now and then and stay focused. And I pray that your relationship will be enriched and you would learn to enjoy the wonderful person God has given to you. And if the person hasn't come yet, that you'll be patient because he or she will come at the right time. So we'll take a little break here, and then when we come back, I'll take your questions and your comments. But community, let the community communication continue.
Thought-provoking, motivational, inspirational, attitude, values, faith, soul-inspiring content, value for money. New Look, the magazine that reports on our values, attitudes, and faith for discerning people. Rover Report Monthly Magazine. Get your copies from all Shell shops, Total shops, and the supermarket near you. Or call 0302-231188 for subscription.
Honey, I have laid the bed. Baby, honey, tomorrow I have a meeting. I have a business meeting tomorrow.
Sir?
Thought-provoking.
Staying on, I appreciate the fact that you continue to make the time to be with me. Today, we welcome to Ghana Asikoko. Asikoko is the name of Kabute's beautiful daughter. She was named yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Yes.
Yesterday.
Why?
Yesterday, and
Though I still love you.
I haven't seen Kabute behave more gently. Today, did you guys see how he walked in?
Hey, like a Superman.
Yes,
With
like a
his chest,
Superman. Yeah.
with his chest out, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is balancing wahala.
Well, that's what happens when you give birth to daughters. They polish you up. So, Kabute and Nora, congratulations. And I see, welcome. May God make you a blessing to your generation.
Amen.
All right, can we have the...
All right. Ancestor Sowa says, your program is really shaping my life again. I wish I had known much of these, like I would not have done the mistakes that I did some time past.
Joanna Osai says, cheating. I don't understand when cheating doesn't mean he still loves you.
Yeah, it's one of the puzzles in life, isn't it? But trust me, that is what it is.
Uncle, Anana says, Uncle, how do you deal with the sense of failure when you realize that love is lost in your relationship?
Don't blame yourself. Stop blaming yourself, because that's where it comes from. Stop blaming yourself. Sometimes it is the way life is what it is. Life is not fair. You are not the first person to have a relationship go best. You will not be the last. Learn the lessons from it, but it was a relationship. It wasn't you. Keep it away from you, because it takes two to build a relationship. Don't take all the blame for it. And but even if you did some things wrong, look at it this way: let your mistakes enrich you for your next relationship.
Nana Ampong says, killing is an offense, so anyone who kills love must be arrested. What are the police doing, Kra?
The problem is that love police has not been invented yet. The love police department has not been formed yet. I think the last time I heard, they were interviewing candidates for the police force, but they started with the IGP. And the person who came kept on saying transmission, transmission, and no more transmission, submission. And so because of that, they dissolved the Love Police Force. Yes, go.
All right. Uncle, I caught my husband masturbating on the bed whilst I was lying by him. We are less than a year. We are less than a year in marriage. I woke him up in the morning to talk about it. He denied it initially, but later agreed and said it won't happen again. I told him that it was affecting our sex life, but he always blamed me because I was a virgin when we got married. Uncle, now he doesn't talk to me or pick my calls or WhatsApp messages. Last time I asked him if I have wronged him, and he said no, so I let him sleep. Uncle, before we got married, he said we shouldn't take our issues outside. I'm hurting. How do I handle this, please?
Wow. There are realities that I know are out there, but I wish nobody would encounter them. One of them is this one: finding your husband masturbating, especially when you are not, you've not, it's different if you've just given birth and therefore it isn't happening. It is different if you are the kind of person who has become "don't touch me" soap. Your husband can't touch you, because it becomes your anthem. Don't touch me. This is not the case. This is not the case here, and yet this is happening. And that he was doing it on your bed. Oh, you know what? Even though he said, and listen to all of you, this issue of don't take what is happening in our relationship outside is bogus. It is a very bad advice. Don't take it to anybody, keke, because not everybody needs to know what is going on in your relationship. But there are pastors, there are counselors, there are mature family people who can help you work through your issues. I think that you should look at the options. Either somebody in the family, or a pastor or a counselor, and let the person help you with this. There is something going on in this relationship that he is not talking. It is possible that it may be one of those topics that is very uncomfortable to talk about. But I hope he finds the context in which he can open up and talk. You will discover, when he finally opens up, you will find that the solution to it is so simple. So simple. But the situation needs to be created for him to be able to say exactly what is happening and why he is doing this.
From Princess, Uncle, please, he said I will have to get pregnant before he marries me. Is this real love?
I struggle with archaic philosophies. Philosophies that are redundant, that are useless, that are bogus. And yet sometimes even educated people are still propounding it. This issue of let the woman be pregnant first before you marry her. I mean, those days are over. What are we talking about? Why? Why do you see a woman only as a breeder? Women are not just breeders. Are you looking for a wife just because of children? Then you don't need a wife. You could have a child with any woman, anywhere. But if you want a wife, you must understand that marriage is complete without children. So this issue of get pregnant first before is bogus. Is bogus. And I hope people will stop pestering ladies with this.
This is quite long. I'll try and read it very fast.
All right. And today you are in a very good mood, so I'm happy you're the one reading it. So.
Okay.
All right. I see, Papa.
Uncle, please help me out. I've been dating my fiancé for some years now. I work and live in the States and he lives in Ghana. I visit him every 5 months. We'll be getting married, God willing, in this August. Although he's employed, he works with a travel and tour company and also owns a small boutique. But all this while, he's living with his friend, boys level. Because, guys never find pleasure in living under the same roof with their parents after a certain age, and he is 31. My fiancé's friend is getting married just next month. So my guy has to find a new place, and coincidentally, that is my fiancé's parents, are searching for a new place too. Fortunately, they have found a 3-bedroom self-contained, and my guy says he's decided to go back and stay with his parents because in this case, they can be able to save some money for both their honeymoon and his trip to the US. Note, he's not greedy or selfish anyway. He sends me money, hair, and edible products whenever anyone is returning to the States. He says, what's the point of renting an apartment, pay 2 years rent in advance, leave the apartment just after marriage? He is very right because, yes, it will be a waste of money. But my point is, I just feel so uncomfortable to stay under the same roof with my mother and father-in-law or vice versa. I just want to enjoy my early days after my wedding in much fun. I need my privacy. Do you guys think I'm being biased? Am I exaggerating? Should my guy rent a new apartment? Should he extend our days at the honeymoon until my time to return back to the States is up? Or I should just manage? Note, he's almost completely... Note, he has almost completely completed our house with electrical appliances and other things to beautify the whole place. Should I just manage this situation? I'm very nervous to stay with them. I don't know why. I'm a caterer and I know how to cook, but I'm nervous because I can't cook but that maybe I can't cook, or I just want my privacy at this early stage.
This is going to be for how long? I mean, she's going to come down, they'll get married, and they will stay, and then...
She didn't say how long, but they'll stay for a period, and then they'll go back to the States.
And then they're also developing their own property.
Yes.
And that's what he said, that,
he's furnished the parents' house, the 3-bedroom house that the parents have now gotten.
Okay, because she's called it our home. That's why. Young lady, if you love the boy, marry him. For your honeymoon, don't stay in the house. Go out and spend a week outside. Have all the fun and come back. And when you come, make your in-laws celebrate you for becoming their daughter. Give them the impression you've won a daughter. And then when your time is up, go. And pray that the boy will get a visa and join you soon. So hasten the process of he joining you after the marriage as soon as possible. But it's not a disastrous situation, especially because you have options, especially because you have plans and you are not going to be here. As for wanting time for your honeymoon, to enjoy your marriage in the early days, there's something called honeymoon. Go out. So marry, travel out of Accra or wherever the town is, and just you and your husband. Don't go and live with friends. Go and live in a hotel, or in a guest house, and then enjoy yourselves for a week at least before you come down. When you come, join them. Be part of the family. Get to know them. Let them also get to know you. I think it's an opportunity. It's a great opportunity. Don't only see the negative. A lot of good can come out of this. And then when the time is up, both of you leave Ghana. And then when you go back, my regards to Trump.
From Alfred, Uncle, is it good for a woman to curse her husband?
To do what?
Curse her husband. This is because she tried calling her husband and he's not picking the call. And as soon as he sees the missed call and calls her back to explain what caused the missed call, before he gets the opportunity to speak, the wife starts raining insults and cursing him because she suspects the husband is cheating.
Okay, one thing about curses, and I don't know why insults and curses, Ghanaians are so much afraid of it. I don't understand why. Oh, he insulted me, or people will insult me, and because of that people, and then he cursed me. Listen, the truth is this, the spiritual truth is this. An undeserved curse does not stay. It doesn't work. So if you curse me for something I haven't done, it won't stick. An undeserved curse does not stick. It doesn't work. So if there is nothing there, there is a genuine reason why you made the call, and your wife, who is a fetish priestess daughter, curses you, you know. And those of you who are not married, next time when you are married, ask the background, you know. You two young lady, curse your husband, saying, don't you realize that when you curse your husband, you've cursed yourself and your children? I mean, what is this? What is this? You know, look, go to any community in Africa, not just in Ghana, in Africa where people do a lot of cursing. Nobody in that community prospers. Nobody in that community prospers. And you have a lot of cases of all kinds of deformity in that community. Nothing works. So cursing somebody is not the way to go. Plus, there's something everybody needs to know. Those who know God and have committed themselves to God, they come under the promise of Abraham. And that promise says, I will curse those who curse you. If your husband is a Christian and is under this promise and you curse him, guess who you've just cursed? Let's be careful with curses. But my brother, the curse, it won't do anything. It won't do anything. When we were children, when we were in school, we said that when you curse a schoolboy, it is only the school uniform. It's only the school uniform that year.
What?
It won't go anywhere. It won't go anywhere. So when you curse a Christian, the only thing that will happen is that traffic light will catch him. That's all. It won't go anywhere.
Trisha says, Uncle, please, I want to know the motive behind some guys who start relationship with marriage proposal.
They know that they think that every Ghanaian woman is looking for marriage. That's all. Quite often, the people who do that, they have no intention of marrying you, but they know you'll soften up for them when you say, I'll marry you. Note, when they come up with a marriage proposal, they don't also come with a date.
Oh.
They don't. So if you want to know that they are genuine, ask them, oh, would you, I would like to marry you. When? Ask them, when? Give me the date. Then you know whether he's serious or not. But a lot of Ghanaian men have learned that the Ghanaian woman, almost every Ghanaian woman is looking for marriage. It's not the case, but I'm talking about perception. So please don't attack me. And so they think that if you say I'll marry you, your chances of succeeding with her very high. As against, oh, let's go out. I want us to date.
I prefer the second one. From Iraja, Uncle, what if one is in a relationship whereby she's always abused verbally and told the guy she's no more interested in the relationship because she can't take it anymore? It was ended, but now the guy calls the lady and behaves very nice as if nothing has happened, and he's also quick-tempered. Uncle, do you think she should continue with him in this relationship?
Well, if she continues, it will be more of the same. It will be more of the same. The young man needs help, and I hope she would ask, is it Irajwa? Or? Irajwa, ask him to go and look for help, to get counseling and to learn how to deal with his temper. But he'll be nice. And that's what happens with people who are abusive. They do the damage, and then there's this period when they are so sweet and nice, just to disarm you and get you back, only to do it again. And every time it gets worse. You know, the longer it goes, the more serious it gets. So it will not change.
Gideon on YouTube says, Uncle, thank you for your practical teaching. I would want to know, what does responsibility play in love for singles?
It goes in love
for singles.
In love for singles.
Yes.
Or like when you are
dating.
Responsibilities. Well, you have the responsibility to be accountable to each other, to be respectful of each other. Financial accountability, no. Financial responsibility, you have none at that point. But you have the responsibility to give your partner the assurance that I can handle my finances well and our future is secure.
From Lord, Uncle, I'm being bothered to get married because they say I'm grown. I'm grown up and delaying. But for me, I want to wait for a while. The only issue is I'm my mom's only child, and she seriously wants a grandchild. Please advise me.
Lord, how old are you? I'd like to know. Because the way you are saying that they say I am old, it's almost as if they see you and say, oh, boy, you are old. And then you are looking and say, but I'm still in Pampers. I mean, I am still I'm still in diapers. So why are you saying, I'm old? So, Lord, let us know how old you are.
Uncle, what do you do when going out with your spouse is boring?
Why? Because the point is that there are lots of people who are boring. But then, if you are the interesting one in the relationship, then make that one as your responsibility. That whenever we go out, I bring the entertainment. Because even boring people enjoy the company of those who are lively. It may not show on his face because maybe he has an WHYTE face, but he's still enjoying you. So continue going out with him and look for ways of you making it interesting. And let's see whether with time he will not also come out of his shell and be a little bit more light-hearted when you go out.
From Dorcas, Uncle, please, I need a godly counsel on this to help tell my friend who is going through relationship issues. She just left her current relationship because of some circumstances beyond her control. But recently, the guy she was dating before her current breakup, who left without a reason of which she was hurt but recovered, came back to apologize on his knees and saying he has regretted and told her all that happened. Apparently, he cheated and the lady found out, but didn't confront him, so they left their separate ways. Now that he is in to apologize, he is asking for a second chance because he said he didn't know how to tell my friend because he loved her and it was kind of peer pressure. But now he has regretted and matured now. Should my friend give him a second chance?
I've said on this program before that nobody takes medicine for the sick. Let your friend come on the platform and ask if she really wants counsel. All right.
Uncle.
Please, Lord says he's in his 30s.
Come again.
Lord
He's early
says
30s.
he's in his 30s. But somebody responded and said, Lord is 47 years old, small boy.
Okay, Lord. And this is a principle. Nobody should feel pressured to get married. Marry because you have decided to get married. Because you see, even if you married under the pressure of your mother, it is you who will be in that relationship. So, Lord, take your time, get the right person. But when you do find the right person, move quickly. But don't feel under pressure to get married at all. And find ways of assuring your mother that it will happen, Lord. It will happen. Tell her that you're only 30. You know, you're only 30. After all, Methuselah, how old was he? You know, so you haven't gotten anywhere yet. That's why. So, Lord, I agree. You're a small boy. You're a small boy. All right. Abizi, did you have something that you wanted to say?
Oh, no, we're good.
Okay. I'd like to thank you very much for making the time to be with us. It's been fun coming your way. I always appreciate the fact that you make the investment of data and of time to be with me. But I hope it's been fun. I hope it's been useful. May God continue to sustain you. May God continue to bless you. A lot of pain out there. May God help you find solutions to the problems in your relationships. And may there be a turnaround to all the relationships. Until we come your way next Friday, stay blessed and all the best. Hello, they call me Uncle WHYTE. I am the CEO and Artistic Director of WHYTE Production. What matters now is that I am committed to you becoming the best you can be. Hello. They call me Uncle WHYTE. I am the CEO of Roman Productions, but I'm also very much committed to helping you become your better self. Your better self. You see, nobody goes into a love relationship to be miserable. We go into a love relationship to make each other happy.